I think the best way you can avoid a deficiency is to employ a knowledgeable infection preventionist and making sure that they have the time to manage the infection prevention and control program. That is actually F882. Typically, under this tag, they would, usually it's a nurse who meets the qualifications. They have the additional infection prevention and control training. They have to be at least part-time, but have a primary focus with the duties of infection prevention and control. You need to determine how much time they spend in this effort through your facility assessment, looking at your resident census, your resident characteristics, the types of units that you have. If you have a vent unit, for example, your infection preventionist is going to require more time. And they need to be a key part of the interdisciplinary team and of your QAPI team. Next, you're going to have daily infection prevention and control rounding. That's not necessarily just by the infection preventionist. I think that can be by everyone. You're going to be looking at cleaning and disinfecting practices, care practices, employee health, and again, everybody can be a part of that. The infection preventionist will carefully look at surveillance of infections, looking at trends, clusters. Hand hygiene audits are very, very important. And again, this does not necessarily have to be only done by the infection preventionist. This can be done by other key people in the facility. And this should be done by all types of personnel. Or for all types of personnel, including your physicians. They may be your biggest offenders. So include them as you're looking. Remember that when surveyors come in, they're going to be looking at hand hygiene very specifically. They're going to be wanting to make sure that you are performing hand hygiene before and after contact with the resident, before performing an aseptic technique, after contact with blood, body fluids, visibly contaminated surfaces, or after contact with objects in the resident's room, after removing PPE, after using the restroom, and before meals. So these are all the things that they're going to be looking at when they do hand hygiene. So include that in your hand hygiene audits. Make sure that you're reporting all your infection control and prevention activities to your QAPI committee. Remember that infection prevention and control is not the only focus now in QAPI because that ended with the public health emergency. Make sure that all staff has received in-service training and is competent, including proper use of PPE, donning and doffing of your gowns, making sure that they understand about isolation. So it's important that everyone is educated. Excuse me. Proper cleaning of blood glucose monitors. That is a big immediate jeopardy if you're not properly cleaning those. Never put those meters in your pocket and use the manufacturer guidelines for disinfecting. Make sure that you are properly using single and multi-dose vials and insulin pens. Again, needles are single-use, resident use only. That's an IJ if you're found not to be in compliance. Multi-dose vials cannot enter resident treatment areas. You have to discard those if you take them in. And you can't share insulin pens meant for single-use residents. You have to continue to perform your COVID-19 testing in accordance with accepted national standards. This falls under this particular tag. Keep your linen carts covered and make sure your staff does not cover linens next to their body. Those are things that can get cited under this tag, as well as tears in furniture, therapy, mats, all those types of things would fall under this tag.